Guys, today we have absolutely explosive news coming out of Dallas. You have a bombshell that is shaking the entire foundation of the NFL. Something that nobody expected, not now, not this soon, not in this way. The Dallas Cowboys, America's team, have just made one of the most shocking, controversial, and polarizing decisions in recent NFL history. One of their biggest star players has been cut, released, removed from the roster in a move that not only stunned Cowboys fans, but sent absolute shockwaves across the entire league. The decision came directly from the top. Yes, Jerry Jones himself. The billionaire owner who has long been the most hands-on and bold figure in football ownership, personally approved and possibly initiated this drastic franchise-altering move. This isn't just another roster adjustment. This is a calculated, public, and incredibly aggressive message. And that message is being read loud and clear by the rest of the NFL. So let's break it down. What happened, why it happened, and what it means going forward. The player in question, whose name until today was considered almost sacred in Dallas, had been a key figure for the Cowboys in recent seasons. Whether you're talking about a defensive cornerstone, or Pro Bowl level talent, a locker room leader, or even the face of the franchise, this move hits like a lightning bolt. Over the past few months, rumors had been swirling about internal tension between the front office and certain players, particularly surrounding contracts, effort, off-the-field behavior, and attitude during training camp. And while most of us brushed it off as off-season noise, things were clearly boiling beneath the surface. Jerry Jones, known for making bold, even brash decisions, finally had enough. Sources close to the team describe it as a final straw situation, something that had been building for a while and ultimately culminated in an unexpected team meeting where executives decided to pull the trigger. And just like that, the cut was made. But why now? Why at this point in the season, with the playoffs approaching and chemistry being so vital, that's what makes this even more shocking. The Cowboys aren't in rebuild mode, they're in win now mode. Cutting a top tier player this late into the year signals not just urgency, but a power move. One that suggests control, dominance, and zero tolerance for anything less than full buy-in. Jerry has a long history of dramatic roster decisions, from pushing out legendary coaches to trading marquee players in their prime. But this cut, this might top the list in terms of shock value. What's truly insane is the fallout we're already seeing. Cowboys Nation is divided. Social media exploded within minutes of the news breaking, with some fans in absolute disbelief, others in anger, and a small group saying it was about time. But the vast majority, they're stunned. We're talking about a player with jersey sales, endorsements, charity work, and thousands of fans who worshipped him. And now, overnight, he's gone, and it's not just fans who are reacting. League insiders, analysts, and rival players are already weighing in. Some are calling it a mistake. Some say it was a brave move, the type of ruthless business decision that championship teams have to make. Others say it signals a deeper issue within the Cowboys locker room, like that things aren't as stable as they appear on the surface. And let's talk about that locker room. Imagine being a player on this team right now. You walk into practice and see an empty locker, the one that belonged to someone you respected, someone you went to war with on the field. It sends a very loud and clear message. No one is safe. No contract, no status, no history protects you when the boss decides it's over. That kind of shock can motivate players, or it can rattle them. Jerry Jones is no stranger to making examples out of players, and this may be the most public example yet. Some players might tighten up, work harder, stay in line, but others, they might look for exits. And when leadership is questioned, it becomes a real test of team unity. From a performance standpoint, this cut could have ripple effects all over the depth chart. The Cowboys will now have to fill a major gap, whether it's in the defensive secondary, linebacker core, wide receiver rotation, or on the line. Young players will be thrown into bigger roles. Veterans will be asked to do more. It might galvanize the team, or it might expose some cracks. Now, here's the kicker. We're already hearing that multiple teams are interested in signing the cut player. Within hours of the release, several contenders reportedly reached out to gauge his interest. This player, even with the baggage or drama, is still a top 15 talent at his position. So just imagine, he signs with a rival, he comes back to Dallas later this season or in the playoffs. That's a storyline we might not be ready for. The NFL thrives on drama, and this one is already going down as one of the most dramatic decisions of the year. And let's not ignore the financial angle. This wasn't a cheap move. Okay, like cutting a player of this caliber often carries a massive cap hit, dead money, or bonus implications. So the Cowboys had to feel extremely strong about this decision. They may have decided the off-field drama, tension, or behavioral issues were more costly than the money. And that tells us a lot. That tells us this wasn't about stats or injuries. This was because of personal. This was principle. Now, let's turn the spotlight on Jerry Jones himself. The man is an NFL icon, a legend, a businessman, and a lightning rod for controversy. He's often described as both a genius and a madman, sometimes in the same sentence. He's been running the Cowboys for decades, and he's seen everything from Super Bowl glory to total franchise dysfunction. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He sits in on team meetings. He talks to the media directly. He negotiates contracts personally. Some owners write checks. Jerry writes narratives. And this one, it might be his boldest chapter yet. For years, fans and analysts have begged for accountability in Dallas. And now that it's finally here, it's almost too much to process. You want to change? Well, this is it. And with one cut, one decision, Jerry has flipped the NFL conversation upside down. What does this mean for the Cowboys' Super Bowl hopes? That's the million-dollar question. If this move was purely disciplinary, it might backfire on the field. But if it was the move that finally sets the tone in the locker room, resets the culture, and rallies the team together, it could be genius. Championship teams aren't just built on talent. They're built on chemistry, accountability, and unity. Maybe this cut was the shock to the system they needed. Or maybe it's the beginning of a collapse. Like, either way, the next few weeks will tell us everything. Players will start speaking out, the media will swarm, and the NFL world will keep turning its eyes to Dallas. Will the Cowboys make a follow-up move? Is another big name next? Like, will they issue a press conference or let the silence speak volumes? And perhaps the biggest question of all, will the fans stand by this team, or will this trigger a backlash unlike anything we've seen in the Jones era? One thing is for certain, the Cowboys are now the biggest story in football. Again. And just when you think you've seen it all, Jerry Jones reminds us, in Dallas, anything can happen. So stay tuned, because this is just the beginning. The drama, the fallout, the redemption arc, the new signing, it's all coming. And we'll be here breaking it down every step of the way. If you're as stunned as I am, smash that like button, subscribe for more unfiltered NFL analysis, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you support Jerry's decision? Was it justified or reckless? Is this going to hurt or help the Cowboys? Let's hear it. The debate starts now. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay loud, stay proud, and stay tuned, because the NFL just got a whole lot crazier.